Shalom. Want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akian who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Shabai from the GMS Denver. And I'm going to go ahead and read out of Isaiah 61. Oh, that's a short chapter. Oh, it is a short chapter. Alright, I didn't realize it was that short, but that's okay. It's getting late, so, that's the spirit. Just got back from, it's been a couple hours, but we did the call, the lesson with the Denver group. So we had a good lesson tonight, going in on wisdom. But this is totally different. This is going to be Isaiah 61. And let's read Isaiah 61 and 1. It says, "The Spirit of Yahweh, the Most High, is upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound." All right, and who is this talking about? It's the Israelites. All right, it's talking about the Israelites, the meek, the captives, And Yahweh, He anoints His prophets, right? He picks His men. All right, like Orson Welles says in the documentary that Elder Apostle Tahar and Elder Apostle Gabar always talk about, the prophet is God's man. But in our case, the prophet is, he's Yahweh's man. He uses us. All right? Isaiah 1 and 5. No, I'm tripping. Let me see. Jeremiah 1 and 5. "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." All right? So we're sanctified, we're ordained, we're anointed. Lord's will, I'm part of that number. In the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And we preach good tidings to the meek, which are the Israelites, which right now, the only ones who are going to be meek are going to be the elect. The elect is meek. The elect is, the word meek goes into being submissive. And submissive to what? Submissive to this knowledge, this truth. All right, the 2/3, they're not meek when it comes to the truth. They're not submissive to the truth. They don't receive it the way the elect does. Isaiah 61 and 2, it says, "To proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn." Right, and that's what we're doing. We're proclaiming the acceptable year of Yahweh. And what's the acceptable year of Yahweh? That's going to go into the day of wrath. All right, the day of vengeance. The day of nuclear fire. Okay, let's get that word proclaim real quick. Let me see. It's
Strong's H 7121. Kara.
Kara. All right, let's get that again.
Strong's H, 7121. Kara.
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 That's to proclaim. And what does it mean? It means, let's get a deeper meaning, to call out, to recite, to utter a loud sound, to read aloud, to summon. Okay? To call oneself, to be chosen, to be named. All right? So those are all definitions to proclaim. All right? That's what we're doing. We're calling it out. We're reading it out. I'm reading it right now. Proclaiming the acceptable year of Yahweh. All right? Verse 3, it says, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. All right, and who's the one mourning in Zion right now? It's the elect. The 2/3 are not mourning. They don't have the wisdom to mourn. They don't even understand that they're in captivity. It says, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. Right. The trees of righteousness are the elect, because the elect are the only ones who are going to believe the report. Right. Isaiah 53:1, it says, who hath believed our report, in whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed. So Yahweh arm is Yahweh Shai. Who's going to believe our report? Who's going to believe Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai? Who's going to believe our report is the elect. All right, that's why you have a lot of people of our own people denying the Israelites, denying that we're even the Israelites, talking shit about us on all these social platforms, social media platforms. And it's because they don't believe the report. Okay? Verse 4, it says, and they shall build the old wastes, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. Alright, and this is what we're going to do in the kingdom, but we're going to use the heathen to build up the old waste. But first things first, we're going to build up this third temple, which is a temple of men, lively stones. That's the first thing that's getting built, and it's happening right before your eyes. Okay? Verse 5, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. See, so they want to call us the illegal aliens. You know, I'm a Northern Kingdom Israelite. But the true alien are going to be these heathen. Because these are the ones who are going to feed our flocks, and they're going to be our plowmen and our vine dressers. They're going to be working in the fields, the heathen. They're going to be building up the cities in the kingdom. And we're going to rule them with a rod of iron. Alright, let's see if that is. Let's see. Isaiah 61, and I'm at. Alright, it's going to be Revelation 2 and 27. It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Well, then I should have started at 26. It says, and he that overcometh, which is going to be the elect, starts out with the prophets. It says, and keepeth my works unto the end. So you can't fall out. You can't take your hand off the plow. It says, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. So that's part of us being joint heirs with Yahushua. We're going to rule over the nations. Okay? And this is to the meek. This is a letter to the meek. It's not for the 2/3, the stubborn 2/3, the hard-headed 2/3. Definitely not for the heathen. Which, just for you beginners or your new listeners, the heathen deals with all the other nations that are outside of the tribes of Israel, of the 12 tribes of Israel. Even as I received of my Father. Okay, let's go back to Isaiah 61. It says, verse 6, but ye shall be named the priests of Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. Okay? The Gentiles, right? Ministers. So we're going to be the priests. In that day, they're not going to, call us bums. They're like IUIC, they like to call us bums. But in that day, hey, the true servants of Yahweh Bashem Yeshai, everyone's going to know that they're the priests of Yahweh. It says, men shall call you the ministers of our God, of our power, Yahweh. Right? Because there's not going to be no doubts. Nothing's going to be doubted in this time. During when everything gets set back in order, nothing's going to be in question. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon 5. I'll read it, start at 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. So they think that we're doing this for nothing. They think it's just a lot of these people, the heathen, the 2/3, they just use us as entertainment to them, which we are a spectacle to men and angels even, it says in the scriptures. I'll grab that. Spectacle to men and angels. But let me keep reading this verse. It says, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor, because they don't think, when fool is a non-believer. So that applies to the 2/3 and the heathen, because both the 2/3 and the heathen don't believe the truth. They don't even consider us to be prophets. They don't consider us to be men of the Lord. They don't consider us to be the priests of Yahweh. They don't call us ministers of God, right? But this is what they're going to say when they realize, shit, we were dead wrong. These dudes were the men of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. Verse 4, it says, we fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How was he numbered among the children of the Most High? And his lot is among the saints. See, so they don't even think that we're the Israelites. More or less the men of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, more or less his priests. Alright? It says, therefore we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. Right, they err in the way of truth because they're deceived. They have strong delusion on themselves. Yahweh put strong delusion on them, so much that they should believe a lie. 2 Thessalonians 2:11. Go read that. Verse 7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts. where there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, we have not known it. Right? They don't know the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. We do. Why do we know? Because the Lord put the Spirit on it. It's called Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. It's 1144. 144. So, listen. We know the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai because the Lord put the Spirit on us to be the servants, the prophets. Remember, He sanctified us. He ordained us, to teach the meek, to show our people their transgressions. All right, Isaiah 61 and 7. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful chapter. I'm glad I read it. It says, "For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them." All right, so because of they shame us on the streets. I remember one time this old Edomite lady, she walked up and she was talking shit about our garments. She was like, "You guys look silly in those things," just talking shit for no goddamn reason, really just to curse herself, because they don't believe we're the true servants, the prophets. They stumbled at Yahweh Shai, they stumbled at John the Baptist. Let's get this. Matthew 11, right? We're stumbling blocks. I always tell you that if you watch my videos. Matthew 11:7 says, "And as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, What went ye out in the wilderness to see? A reed shaken in the wind? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment?" That's clothing. "Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist," the greater prophet. That's what it's talking about. "Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he." All right, so check it out. The point being is these people stumbled on John the Baptist. They didn't know he was who he was. They didn't know he was the prophet of the Lord, because he was out in the wilderness. He was wearing a camel's raiment, camel fur. That's what his garment was made of. They were, our people like today, they don't believe that the men of the Lord are the prophets or the teachers of the word. And the way you can tell is because you have a lot of our people and the heathen. They come up to the camps being disrespectful, right? They come in talking shit. They come in, you have all kind of different things happening at the camps. But the thing is they wouldn't be doing that shit if they were in the pagan Christian church. They don't walk up to the pastor in those false churches and give them hell, because why? They think those are the men of the Lord because they got a big building, they got a big ass mega church, your Joel Osteens, your T.D. Jakes, and any of these corny motherfuckers out here. No, I'm just kidding. That's off that Tupac album. Like the elders say, you gotta have fun with this every now and then. But the point being is these fucking people, they don't, the 2/3, they we're a stumbling block. They don't realize, these are really the true prophets of the Lord. Why is the Spirit dealing with us? Why are we the ones who are able to break down these scriptures way better than everybody else? Right? Why are our elders at the top of the food chain when it comes to breaking down these scriptures? I'll show you why. The first one that comes to mind is, well, I'm going to grab two. We always go into this one. Psalm 147 and 19. It says, He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. All right. So the Lord gives his understanding to his servants, the prophets, who are the descendants of Jacob, the Israelites. Okay. You got to learn this book. If you want to learn this book, first of all, you got to be an Israelite. Second of all, you got to go to the true prophets. All right, you have to have the spirit of meekness, the spirit of discernment to understand and go. You have to go to the right teachers. See. So now we'll go to another precept, Matthew 11:25. It reads, And at that time Yahushua answered and said, Oh, I thank thee, O Father, Yahweh of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. And hid what things? He hid the truth, hid the understanding. Because in Yahushua's time, who was the wise and the prudent? Those Pharisees, those Sadducees. And again, I want to do, make the point. Not all the Pharisees were wicked, but you had, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the high priests, during the times of the Romans. And America is an extension to the Roman Empire, so it's the same thing now. These so-called priests in these Catholic churches, these ministers, these televangelists, all these men who you are so-called, and a lot of you two-thirds believe they're men of God, right? But this would be likened unto the wise and the prudent, which are Yahweh has hid these things, and Yahushua was thanking Yahweh. He's like, thank God, thank you for hiding this from all this truth. Thank you for hiding all this knowledge, because everything's spiritual, man. It's spiritual. If you see the lowly Hebrew Israelites on the street corner confounding and just spiritually whooping these pagan Christians' ass, just because we have the understanding. And what is it says? And has revealed them unto babes. Right? And when you go into that word babes, it means insignificant. So we're insignificant men in the eyes of these people. But when it comes down to the knowledge and this truth, guess what? We're the heavyweights. Like you go to the UFC, there's weight classes, right? There's weight classes for a reason, and same thing with this truth. There's weight classes, and we're the heavyweights. Alright? So let's go back to Kahal Yahweh Hashem Shai. We are the heavyweights when it comes to this knowledge. Alright, let's see. Isaiah 61, and I'm almost done here. And look at Romans 7 again. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double, everlasting joy shall be unto them. So even though we got to catch hell, every now and then we got to deal with these heathen, these two-thirds coming against us. But guess what? We're going to have double because of that. And really, we're going to have more. It says in verse 8. Oh, shit. That's lucky. Verse 8. For I, Yahweh, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering. And I will direct their work in truth, and will make an everlasting covenant with them. Right? And just like Yahweh loves judgment, so do his prophets. We're not like in the mindset of the world where some crazy happens to somebody and they all freak out and, oh, the devil did this, or oh, they people freak out. They don't understand the judgments. But we understand judgment, and when we know somebody's wicked, or we see somebody get fucked up, or just like today, I was watching this little news clip, and this lady, she lost her son in a shooting in Aurora, Colorado, I believe, just like yesterday. And I saw the clip yesterday, and then I saw an updated clip today. And she was being interviewed, and she was saying that her family's going through it twice now. Basically, her son got killed 2 days ago, and then a couple years back, I guess her daughter died in a car accident. See, most people will be like, oh, all up in their feels. But the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yeshua, we understand it's judgment. So we know there's something deeper going on between the Most High and those people. Because we understand the judgments. Alright? I should have read that. Psalm 147:20, it says, He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. Alright, so these people, they don't understand judgment. The 2/3, the heathen, only the ones who understand judgment starts out with the prophets. And then when we teach the elect, they get on board. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. Because we understand judgment, and then the elect receive the report. The elect believe the report. Isaiah 61:9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles. See, our children are going to be famous in this kingdom when everything gets reordered. Our children, and then that's another thing we understand. Like if we were one of us, and we hope that if you have children and you're of the elect, you would hope that you're like me. I have older daughters. But you would hope that your daughters would be part of the elect also. But we don't know. Nobody can say for sure. We can't even say if we're the elect right now. We just have an idea that we might be the elect, because we're doing the things that the elect would be doing in these last days. But anyway, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles. So your seed's going to be famous. And their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahweh hath blessed. So people are gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna look at us. They're gonna look at our children. They're gonna be like, damn, those are the motherfuckers right there. That's the elect. That's the servant. Those are the prophets. Those are those ones that we had sometimes had in derision. How is his lot among the saints? Well, guess what? There's no denying in that time. In that day, they're going to know who the true servants of Yahweh B'Shem Yeshua are. They're going to know Yahweh B'Shem Yeshua. They're not going to be calling on no cracker Jesus. They're going to know that was just a lie in that day. Alright? Verse 10. I will greatly rejoice in Yahweh. My soul shall be joyful in my power. For he hath clothed me with garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. Alright, so remember that that verse that talks about there was a guest that was invited to the wedding, and he had the wrong garment on. Well, guess what? When we're doing the right thing, and the right thing is teaching this knowledge according to sound doctrine, and we're doing that, guess what? We're decking ourselves in that proper garment. All right. When you're out there teaching, things that are not, or things that are contrary to what's written, or you don't have the understanding, and you're out there teaching. A lot of people do that. Just go to TikTok. Just go to these social media platforms. You even have women teaching, and that's a whole nother lesson. But that's not the right garment. You got to do this thing according to the way it's written, not according to the way you feel, or those were biblical times. Women can teach now. No, that's the Most High changeth not. It tells you that in Micah. So let's read this last verse. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so Yahweh the Most High will cause righteousness to praise to spring forth before all the nations. All right, and that's happening right now. It starts out with the servants, the prophets. The kingdom is within us. So we're the ones, and you remember, we're those lowly men. We're those babes that Yahweh B'Shem Yeshai has given us the understanding of the scriptures. And it doesn't have nothing to do with these pagan Christians or these outsiders or these heathen or these 2/3 that believe lies, that inherited lies from their oppressor, right? From their captor. You see? So this is, these things are springing forth. It starts out with us right now. My prophet's rising up early. Let's get that. I think it's right in this, right near one of these. Let's see. Let me look it up real quick. I'll close that out on this. Alright, let's see. Okay, there is one in Isaiah that says that, but I'm going to go to the one in Jeremiah, because that one's good. Jeremiah 35:15, it says, I have sent also unto you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, Return ye now every man from his evil way, and amend your doings, and go not after other gods to serve them. Cracker Jesus is another God, a God your forefather never knew, never worshipped. That's been given to you by your enemy, who in this captivity is the so-called white man, the Edomite. He set himself up as the Most High and as the Hamashiach, or the Messiah, which, when you go into the truth and the history and the Spirit's dealing with you, you can easily see that those are not the true, that's not God, and that's not Yahweh Shai. That's not Yahweh. Alright? Those are false idols. Alright, it says, And go not after other gods to serve them, and ye shall dwell in the land which I have given to you and to your fathers. But ye have not inclined your ear, nor hearkened unto me. And order his prophets, right? Because his prophets, we rise up early, meaning we have this knowledge and this understanding before everyone else. That's one of our blessings, is to rise early, right? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close out on that. I hope the lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, one acknowledge Alakim, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.